Welcome back, Tribe fans. It's Tribe Time Now 2.0, the quarter pole of the Major League Baseball season. All Indians, all day, every day. I'm Joe Scamacci, your host of Tribe Time Now, joined as always by my degenerate Indians fan buddy, Mike the Dak Pelow. How are you, Michael?
Pretty good, Joe. How about yourself?
Doing well, man. Hanging in there. Just enjoying, the first quarter pole of the Indian season. They say after about 40 games, one-fourth of the way, you know how good or bad your team is. The Indians stand at 18-20, 5.5 back in Detroit as we speak. Mike, not quite 40 games, not quite the quarter pole, but I figure with an off day today before we travel into the great country up north in Toronto, let's assess the Indians to this point. And at 18-20, use one word, Mike, to kind of describe the Indians so far.
Mediocre.
That's a good word. Now go ahead and tell me why.
Well, we started off real bad. You know that. We started off 11-17 in the first month of the season. Now we're 7-3 in our last 10. So we started off bad. Now we're playing pretty good ball. So overall, I think we've been a little mediocre. You said one word. I kind of want to say up and down. We kind of had a lot of up and downs so far. I think the bats were so cold in the beginning. Now they're starting to, level out a little bit. So I think we're coming around as a team. I'm seeing some good signs. We'll get into that more a little later. But for the start of the season, honestly, we just look like an average club, AL team. I hate to say it. I think we have more potential than some of those teams that will overachieve so far, like in our division, maybe the Twins and the White Sox. But to be honest, we look like an average team.
No, you're right. And to point that out, to back up your point, Mike, run differential. We're minus 13, and that's actually the worst in the AL Central right now. But we've been on the bad end of some bad losses, 7-1 the other day to Tampa Bay. We don't really blow teams out. I think we got maybe 2 or 3 blowouts so far in the 38 games. But mediocre, up and down, I would say inconsistent. 0-6 on a road trip, then come home, take 3 out of 4 from like the Tribe, 2 out of 3, the Twins, a couple from the White Sox. So, but the Indians did this last year in 2013. So I guess I'll ask you, Mike, are you concerned or are you expecting a big month?
I was concerned, but after the last few series, it looks like we're playing some good ball. And I'm excited for this month. I think we're going to have a big month. Starts with beating the teams in division, which I think we're pretty good at. We're pretty good at handling the Twins, the White Sox, even though they're playing some good ball this year, and the Royals. Obviously not Detroit. We had our struggles with them. But I'm looking forward to this month. Bats are coming around. Big question is, though, Joe, is Carlos Santana going to ever hit in the 4-hole? Or are we just going to watch him bat 140 all year? Because I don't know.
It's a great thing. I got his shirt on right now. I'm hoping I can change the mojo around a little bit. But right now, he's been everything and disappointing. I mean, Terry still continues to stick by him in the cleanup spot, and he's hitting. Hang on here, I got to scroll to the bottom to find it. He's hitting a .148. Now I know you pointed out, his OBP, which it is a good thing to point out. He's on base is 320, which is up there with almost like guys like David Murphy, more so than Yan Gomes, just below his dribble. So the guy obviously draws walks, and that's his one thing is that he has a great eye at the plate. But, man, that long stride right now, it's killing us. It's straight up killing us. I mean, you got Michael Brantley lately batting third. Guy's got a freaking all-star season going so far, and then you got this slouch, this bum hitting behind him, can't even hit his weight. And, we're leaving a lot of guys on base, and Carlos is to blame. He's got, 4 home runs right now, but so far it's been kind of the Michael Brantley show with the Kipnis sideline with the injury. You said it on Tribe Time Now 1.0, Mike. You said Michael Brantley's going to have an all-star year, and a lot of people don't even know who Michael Brantley is. So you're obviously not surprised by this start with Michael Brantley.
No, not at all. I'm happy about it. But back to Carlos, Joe. I never have confidence he's going to get a hit with runners with people on base. Never. Like I just usually just like say, all right, who's up next? Like that's what happens. It's so bad, especially your four hitter. Like you have no faith in him whatsoever.
That's bad.
But a couple games, we leaned on Brantley. He's been carrying us,
Yeah.
literally. But he's 30 RBIs, 7 home runs. He's second in the AL in RBIs. Been 286. He's raking it right now, especially with runners in scoring position. He's Mr. Smooth.
Yeah. Well, Smooth's always been clutch with 2 outs. Always. But,
Yeah.
I mean, hitting us out, man. I mean, how do you think Brantley's back feels right now? He's literally carrying the team. Leads in RBIs, home runs, total bases. He's got the least amount of strikeouts of the regular starters. Leads us in runs. He's Mr. Everything.
Yeah. Well, when Kipnis wasn't killing it anyway, Kipnis went down. I feel like we kind of pulled together a little bit as a team. When did he leave? What, he left about like 2. He's been down for 2 weeks now, and that's kind of when we went on this little stretch right here. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, a week and a half, 2 weeks. I mean, let's just be honest. We're a better baseball club when Jason Kipnis is in our lineup. He was our all-star last year.
Best player.
Yeah, he carried us in June and July. He might not be the best with the glove, but he's a tough out at the dish. He hits righties and lefties. He can hit for power and some average, and he could take a bat. So to say it's the Patrick Ewing theory of where your best player goes out and you rally around as a team isn't true. Right now, Mike Avilos is smoking hot. I mean, keep that guy out there. He's got calves the size of tree trunks, and he's spraying the ball all over the place. Had a walk-off for us last week, really contributing with the bat, sack flies and everything. But tread water. Hold afloat till Kipnis can get back. I mean, some of these guys are going to come around, Mike. I know Ryan Rayburn's off to a slow start. He'll get going a little bit. Santana I'm worried about, but over his career, I mean, you just have to look at career when it comes to baseball players. They always average out. He's a career 250, 240 hitter, so he's going to gain 100 points. And once he gets going, I imagine we're going to take off too. It's just, I guess if you want to transition here to guys who are worrying you so far, for me it's 2 guys. It's Nick Swisher, and we talk about meatballs every day during every Indians game, and it's Michael Bourne. And we can start with Nick first, Mike, but 203, our highest salary on the team, 2 home runs to this point, hits in the 2-hole a lot. And like you said with Carlos, Mike, when Nick gets up sometimes, I just feel like, oh, shit, he can't even.
This is going to be ugly. He's going to strike out ugly right here. That's what we think.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to flail at a curveball, and then Brantley has to come up and do it all with 2 outs. So, hopefully he gets going. 9 straight seasons, 20-plus home runs, so I guess that's like a guarantee with him, so he should get going a little bit. But, Michael Bourne, he scares me a little bit too. Mike, and you're a center fielder. You played center field back in the day. What do you feel about Michael Bourne at this point? You a little worried, or you think he'll get going?
I'm worried from his injury standpoint. Is that what you're worried about? Because of his lagging hamstring, or just he just can't hit?
He's also got 22 strikeouts, which is 1, 2, 3, 5th on our team, and he's missed a lot of time, and he's our leadoff guy. Like, I feel like he strikes out a lot.
Yeah, he strikes out way too much. That's the one thing I really don't like about him. But for a talent standpoint, I think he's there. His hamstring holds up. I think he could hit 280. But he's got to get on base a little more. He doesn't get enough pitches. What's that?
268 on base. That's a effing joke from your leadoff man.
Yeah. He's only hitting 244 right now, and he's supposed to be our guy to get on base and steal bases and manufacture runs, but we can't seem to do that with him, and he's always out like every other game or something like that. But he had a stretch where he got hot. He went on like a 7 game hitting streak. So I think if he's in the lineup for a while, he's going to be productive for us. If he could stick in the lineup for a month at a time instead of coming out every 2 weeks, missing 3 games here, 3 games here, he's got to play for a month or 2 stretch to really get in the flow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Baseball players are all about – they're streaky. And the Indians are a streaky team. We saw it last year. They can lose 8 in a row. They can win 10 in a row. So, I mean, it's all about them just staying healthy and finding together. I mean, just some scary numbers from him. 3 walks and 78 at-bats, 22 strikeouts, and we paid him for mainly one reason, his speed. He's got 2 stolen bases to this date. So he has a negative offensive WAR. So actually, when he's out of the lineup, what that tells us, we're kind of a better team. And we can transition to why we might be a better team, and it's because when Michael Bourne's been out of the lineup, Tito Francona has entered Niger Morgan, hitting 341 so far, Mike, this year. Goes yard yesterday in the Tampa Bay game to basically help us win the game. What have you thought about Niger Morgan at this point?
just another guy in the goon squad, just producing for us. I love it. New year, new players coming in and being productive. Avilas, Rayburn's not doing anything this year though, but Nigel, he's that spark that sometimes the team needs. We were kind of in that funk, and he came in and he'll bring some energy to the table. I don't know if his like 300 batting average can be sustained.
No.
Probably not. But he makes plays. And he's a spark out there. So
it's exactly what it is. I mean, Tito entered him in the lineup and told the beat writers, we need him for his energy, his spark. And that's what he did. He goes headfirst all out on a bunt to beat it out, ends up scoring later in the inning. He goes yard late in the game for some insurance. He's got 7 walks, 6 strikeouts, stolen 3 bases, 14 hits. I know the 340 and the 430 on base isn't going to last, sure, if he gets regular bats. But, Mike, and I know we paid Michael Bourne $44 million or whatever it is, but when you have a significant guy like this, Morgan, and he's red hot, it's tough to keep him out of the lineup. I mean, where do you play him? I mean, if Michael Bourne's out there, he's in center. You're not sitting Brantley in left. David Murphy, we could talk about him in a second. He's been a hidden jewel for us. So I don't know where you get Niger Morgan ADs. It's going to be tough, but, if you're Tito, do you seriously think about sitting Bourne for Morgan?
Well, I think if that hamstring's lingering, even if he says, I'm good to go, coach, even if Bourne says that, it's good to have in the back of your mind Morgan, who's hitting well, to maybe put Bourne on the bench for another day or two to give him that extra rest, it's good so you don't have to rush Bourne back. That's what I'm basically saying,
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say you bench Bourne for Morgan though if Bourne's healthy. I don't think that's the case.
I agree. I mean, I love our depth. I think, the Goon Squad, Avilas, Rayburn, Brantley, I guess Lonnie Chisenhall, he's red hot. He should be starting regularly. I guess those guys are great to have. They're great to have when you play a lot of games in a row and you want to give guys rest. Guys are going to get hurt. Jason Kipnis went down with an oblique. I'm sure his Drupal Cabrera's chunky ass will go down at some point, even though he's been hot lately. I mean, all guys go down. Nick Swisher, I think he's still got to be fighting some sort of injury. It's the only way he can be batting as bad as he's batting. But a lot of depth. And you look at the top of guys who are hitting well. You got Niger Morgan, 340, Lonnie Chisenhall, 338, and Mike Avilas, 312. Those guys don't even have, 80 at-bats apiece.
Yeah, those numbers will even out if they had
Sure.
play full games. That. So I don't think that just because of those numbers we got to get them more at bats. I like to see Lonnie though come into his own. It seems like he's coming into his own a little bit. He doesn't look as pathetic as last year at the plate against lefties.
I mean,
actually, he's been hitting the ball pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. He's got some pop, 8 doubles. He's got a 400 on base. I know Tito tries to carry him along by just hitting against righties, but I'd like to also see him hit lefties. I'd like him to be maybe our cornerstone guy at third base and then really just work on Carlos's hitting, because if it's true the move over to third has affected his offense, then stop fucking playing him at third base. I mean, DH the guy so he just worries about hitting, because you can't have your fourth guy, Terry, hitting a $150 heading into May. I mean, at some point, it's got to be focused on hitting, or we got to go in a different direction.
That's true, and Lonnie batted second yesterday with Swish out of the lineup, and
I like that move.
With the numbers you just told me with Lonnie's on-base percentage, that could be a good move if Lonnie keeps hitting, because Swish is just killing us in the 2-hole. He can never do the right thing, Joe. Like, a guy on second with no outs, he just doesn't hit a ground ball to second to get him over, or he doesn't get a run in from third with 1 out. He'll pop up to the third baseman or something, and it drives me nuts.
Yep. I mean, you even said it yourself, Mike. Your 2-hitter should honestly be your best contact hitter. He shouldn't strike out a lot. He should be able to use the bat, bunt. He should situationally hit, like you said, pull a ball with a guy on second, no outs.
Yeah.
Get a ball in the outfield when you got less than 2 outs and a guy on third. And Swish just doesn't do that. That's my biggest thing with Terry. I'll never doubt him, but it's my one question I have with him is why he continues to get Nick, at bats in the 2-hole. I'd like to see him hit more 5th or 6th. I guess that's a clutch spot too, and David Murphy seems really competent there, and I have a lot of faith when Murph gets up. But we're a lefty. Maybe it's because we're a lefty heavy team, and he likes to go like left switch
Yeah.
switch.
Well, it's big. Yeah, it's big with Carlos batting fourth and able to, with him being a switch hitter, and he was in between at the time Brantley and Kipnis, and then Swisher right before that. So it kind of goes every other, So I don't know. I think we got to make a move. I wish Asdrubal was a little, more fit for batting second. Like he like a couple years ago, he would be a good candidate to go in the 2-hole right now,
Right.
But now he's just like fat, slow, can't
Hit him
really
seven.
do much,
Hit him
gets
six.
tired easily, like doesn't want to be bothered.
He's actually laid down a couple good bunts for base hits this season. I've noticed like 4 or 5 of them have been gems where he just beats them out and they're
Yeah.
just perfect. So I don't know. I mean, it's an idea. Let's see what happens. I mean, what are we at? May 12th. We got maybe about 20 games, a little less. So we'll be at the 60 game mark. I mean, if Nick Swisher's still hitting 200 at that point going into June, you really got to start thinking about like making a move. I mean, just dropping him a little bit. I know Terry speaks about how dropping a guy is bad for his confidence, but shit, Terry. I mean, sometimes you just have to do it for the betterment of the team. You have to get a guy who's a better contact hitter, more ABs. So,
He
I
never
mean,
even batted second till halfway through last year.
yeah, I
When
mean,
he batted second, he went like he got hot for like 10 games. But then we got hot as a team for the rest of the year, so we
yep.
kept rolling with them.
Right, see, exactly. That was a move by Terry because he was slumping in the 4 or 5 hole, wherever Nick was hitting, to
Yeah.
move him to second to see better pitches because he was hitting in front of a red-hot Jason Kipnis, so you just see fastballs, and then that shit swing he has to get it bombs out to right field. But I don't, with the team kind of struggling, I don't see him being that fit at 2. I mean, would rather have Nick at 5, 6 or something like that, and we'll see what happens. I mean, we can gripe more about the lineup if we want, but the fact of the matter is, it's really not that bad. They're 5th. What is it? I have it up here, right here in the AL. They're not the White Sox, but they're 11th in the AL, which I guess is the bottom half of baseball in terms of runs. But the pitching has been keeping them around, and they've scored.
Well, these last 10 games in May, we really picked it up. So we're in April, we were bottom 3 in average. Now we're in the middle of the road. We're 8th. And we were dead last in April in slugging percentage. Now we're 3rd in May. We're only 10 games in at May, or 11, I think.
Obviously an improvement.
Yeah, but dead last slugging to, now we're up towards the top. So, we're coming along a little bit, I think.
No, we are. And we did this last year, so I got a feeling when you and I do Tribe Time Now 3.0, and let's see, another 40 games, that'll be about late June, we'll know where we stand. That'll be the 80 game mark. That's either, hey, we're in this, and let's see what happens after the All-Star break, or shit, man, we're 12 games under 500, and it's time to maybe think about trading Asdrubal, calling up Lindor, whatever. We could do all that when that comes. I don't want to think about that because I know this team is good enough to be in the race the entire time, but the bats will get going. The bats got going in May last year, and then Jason Kipnis did what Jason Kipnis did in June by going completely off. So enough about the lineup, Mike. We covered it pretty well. Actually, I'll just ask you here. We'll end on this. Give me on any day what 9 guys in what order you'd like to see them out there. Take your time. How would you, if you were Tito, build this lineup?
Well, you're talking about right now with like Kipnis hurt and.
No, put Kipnis in there.
Okay.
Born on top. That's how he knows how to hit his leadoff.
You might not want to hear this. I might not.
What?
Carlos might be batting 8th.
That's fine. I agree.
No. Well, I like to have Bourne leadoff, center field.
Yep.
God.
I don't know. I think I'd hit Michael Brantley too.
Pathetic.
No, I think I'd hit Michael Brantley too. I don't know. Maybe right now it's not a good idea.
No. Brantley's got driving runs. You got to put Brantley in a position to drive and run.
Yeah, I mean, right now, the way he's going, it looks like he's got some serious pop. So maybe he should be hitting 4th or 5th. But maybe you could say, I don't know. Maybe you can't see a guy like this Drubal.
I would like to have Asdrubal bat second, but he strikes out a lot as well.
So it's
We'll say Asdrubal batting second because that's kind of what I like right now. Kitness 3. I want to say Santana at 4 if he learns how to hit, but it's impossible to say that. So Brantley batting 4th, Swisher 5th, just because.
No, you got to go Santana because you want to go lefty switch.
Yeah.
And you want to go Swisher, and then you want to go Murphy, and then you want to go Lonnie, and then you want to go Jan, or maybe Jan then Lonnie.
I think Jan could possibly be the one to move up in the order if Carlos was to drop, you know?
Yes.
Like Jan could bat like a 4th. I mean like a 5th. Like a 5th or 6th instead of like an 8th. You know? But
yes. Jan uses the other field really well, actually, and teams shift him that way. So he'd be a good guy to move over. You know, if he gets a guy, hits a double in front of him, he get the good ground ball the other way.
That's the thing with our team. We got a lot of options. With Aviles can play, you know, any infield position and left field. Aviles can play a lot of positions. Lonnie's out there. We have a lot of DH options. So that's at least good to have when people are struggling like that.
Right. Okay, well, we constructed it, and we will never doubt Terry. Terry's our, you know, Christ Savior, basically, and he's going to get us to the playoffs again this year. But let's talk about what's holding the Indians afloat to this point. Lately, it's been the pitching, Mike, and the pitching has been outstanding ever since they made the obvious move, Carrasco to the pen, call up Josh Tomlin. He's been nothing short of spectacular in 2 starts. Zach McAllister's been good. Corey Kluber's probably been our best. Masty's kind of found his groove again, and you know, Danny Salazar's coming around. He's had 3 pretty good starts. Still gives up the long ball here and there, Mike. But you know, we talked off air before we got on here. Our staff and our pen, Mike, we lead the league. We lead AL in strikeouts. What do you make of that?
Surprising, to be honest, but I didn't know Kluber could fan people like that.
Yeah.
Or McAllister. They strike out a lot. I was surprised about that, but I knew Danny would get his strikeouts. He'll give up the long ball once in a while and some big innings, but I knew Danny would get and Masterton would get theirs. But I'm a little surprised by the whole strikeouts. I'm impressed by our pitching a lot.
Yeah.
Not so much about our recent struggles with our closer position, but we'll get into that a little later.
Yeah, we can.
But what do you think of the Carrasco move? It seemed like a no-brainer. He's getting rocked. Now he comes in when we're up 6 or down 6.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I mean, if the guy was off the team, I wouldn't care. I mean, I was really done with Carlos Carrasco. I mean, as you know, I'm a Trevor Bauer guy. I've been preaching for him to get you know, that time, try and come up here, and I just see these teams like Oakland and you know, Washington. These guys got these young arms, these 21, 22-year-old arms that come in and throw cheddar, and I like Bauer. He gave us hope in that San Diego start early in April, but keep him down there. I guess, you know, it looks fine. Josh Tomlin doesn't look like he, you know, stage is too big for him. I remember 2 years ago the guy won 12 games before Tommy John. So good move. Obviously, the obvious move to get Carrasco to the pen, but I like our 5 guys. Now, we've talked about this before. I wish we had a lefty, and when you look at Scott Kazmier's numbers this year, you want to throw up in a bucket. Guy's got a 2.8. He's the ace of the Oakland A's, and he looks unhittable so far through his first, 7 or 8 starts. But, you know, we couldn't pay him that kind of money fresh off a comeback year. He had no idea what he was going to do. And you look over at Ubaldo, he's been kind of getting his tits slit a little bit in Baltimore. He's had a couple of good starts, but he's been getting rocked a little bit. And you knew he would kind of in that hitter's ballpark away from Mickey Callaway. But, yeah, I mean, the strikeouts, Mike, it's been so shocking. You know you're going to get strikeouts from like Brian Shaw and Cody Allen, some good power arms and relief, but I didn't see it coming from Kluber. I didn't see it from Zach. It seems like he just throws a fastball. Masty, you knew you'd get it from, and Salazar, but everybody else right now just seems like they just keep the ball rolling, you know, one guy to the next guy to the next guy, take the ball and go, and they're certainly going to be tested in the upcoming 3 games starting tomorrow. I mean, they're in Toronto, who's I think they got the 3rd or 4th best offense in the AL behind Chicago, but, you know, they sport Joey Bats and Edwin, so it hasn't been our staff, Mike, that's given us problems. I mean, if we had a better pen, if they locked down a little bit better, we'd probably be looking at 20-18 or 21-17 at this point.
Yeah, I like our five that we have right now with Tomlin in the fifth spot. We got a really solid five, especially if Danny could improve. Like he seems like he's improving every game.
Yeah.
But I think the way our starting pitching's been so good, it's been putting a little more pressure on the bullpen because they're like, we got to get these guys wins,
Well, that's how it should be.
Yeah, that's how it should be, but it just seems like you shouldn't be like noticing it while you're watching it. Like when you're watching a game, it's like they're showing the starting pitcher when our bullpen's blowing the game.
Yeah.
Well, they always do that, but I mean, I'm just saying like something with our bullpen, we're just kind of in a funk. It's mostly expert, but
yeah,
I don't know. He's got something mental going on or something. Something's wrong with him.
I don't know. I mean, he's probably smoking pot like Chris Perez or something.
Oh, it must be a Cleveland closer thing. Like all they do is like smoke pot and get Taco Bell like 3 times a day. Ever since the Taco Bell breakfast dropped, he's been fucked. He's just been like smoking pot and like getting breakfast at 8 a.m. Going to the ballpark like, I'm not pitching today.
I don't know what it is. I mean, we're gonna have to blame it on the pot until he gets it figured out because mechanically right now he looks bad. Everything's up in the zone. He's walking a shit ton of guys. He gave up, he's been giving up home runs left and right to Alexi Ramirez in a walk-off, Deaza, or maybe it was Viciedo to the White Sox here in Cleveland, and it was the right move by Terry. And, you and I texted in April, I'm like, WTF, what is Terry doing? Like, why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? But then when it comes down to the obvious moves, he's made them. To get Axford out of the pen, go to a closer by committee. It worked the other day when you went Allen and Shaw in the 8th and 9th. I prefer Allen to close. I think he could be a future closer, but shit, man, Shaw's got some nasty stuff, and if he can do it, then that's fine. I just don't like blowing games. I mean, the Indians haven't had a great closer really since Jose Mesa, or I guess since Joe Borowski of 07, but I've never liked Chris Perez. You and I were both leery of this John Axford signing, and so far through 6 weeks, it's really bit us in the ass. But hopefully, he can regain form and get back to being the closer.
He saved 7 of his first 8 games.
Yeah,
and he looked pretty good, pretty solid.
But did he?
How on a scale of 1? Yeah, he looked okay. He gave us a couple heart attacks, but he looked okay. In the games that he did save, like he didn't go.
So why is your ass so puckered up every time he comes in?
That's just how I live, Joe. That's just how being a Cleveland fan. That's just how I live.
That's a good point.
I wake up every morning. I don't even have an asshole anymore. Okay, in mid-May, we're like 3 games under 500. No asshole right now.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Every game is an adventure come the 9th inning. It was that way for 3 years with Chris Perez. It's been that way for Axford. I mean, Shaw was pretty good the other day, but Cody Allen struggled and gave me fits. I just really like our bullpen. I mean, the guys we're going to go to with the lead is going to be Chepchinsky, Atchison, Shaw, and Allen, and that's how it should be. If we're behind, give Outman some time, Wood or Lee if you have to. But I'm
only confident in Shaw and Allen right now at this point. Like going into the 8th inning or 7th or 8th inning, I only want Shaw or Allen in there.
I mean, really like your Polish cousins against the lefties.
Yeah, my cousin Repchinsky, he's good against the lefty. Yeah, Tito uses him for situational purposes. Like a couple lefties coming up, he'll put him in. But Shaw, they both throw heat and they both strike people out. Him and Allen. So I could see Allen closing. He seems pretty on point, pretty solid every time he comes in.
Well, I mean, he's got closer stuff. I mean, he's throwing in the mid-90s and a wipeout curveball that he really didn't have the other day. But his ERA is like sub-2 or around 2. So he's had good stuff. And Tito, he just loves to use that freaking shit out of that pen, man. He'll go 4 or 5 guys. He'll go 6 guys closer to October. I mean, he'll wear it right out. I love that about him too. It's like I hate when a guy goes too long and you leave him out there a batter too long and he gives up a 3-run shot or something and then the lead's gone. I mean, I'd rather get him out of there and get a fresh arm in there. That's just the way I am. And I think Tito's the same way. So I like when Tito does go to his bullpen.
Yeah. But okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how worried are you about Axford? Because we can't have another Chris Perez situation in
Well,
Cleveland this year.
it's a 1 year deal. So, if it stays like this all year, obviously Tito will just use him in like shitty relief situations and then he'll be gone. Won't bring him back next year. But I want him to be the closer. It's why we brought him in. I think everybody knows their role when he's the closer. He's closed games in the past, unlike Allen and Shaw, who have like 8 saves combined in their career between them. I'm worried about a 6 or a 7. I think he needs to make a mechanical adjustment, and the perfect guy to do that is Mickey Callaway. You want to talk about mechanics? Look at that son of a bitch, Ubaldo Jimenez. He comes in looking like a greasy door just trying to make its way through. And Mickey turned him around, got the mechanics straightened out, and he was our best pitcher, one of the best pitchers in baseball in the second half of the year last year. So maybe you get Axford on the videotape, get him coming downhill more. I mean, that guy throws 95, 96 with a complete wipeout curveball. I mean, he's got good stuff. It's just
when he struggled the last few games, he threw a lot of pitches, but he threw a lot of pitches because he got into trouble. But over I think 3 1/3 inning or something like that, he's thrown 102 pitches or something crazy like that.
That's bad.
So he's got a lot of work in, and he's not used to that. And he kind of when he blew that one in Chicago, I think he was just really hungover. He probably shotgunned like 13 Keystones like the night before. Like, oh, we're gonna blow Chicago out. Outman's coming in. I'm not touching this game.
Outman looks like a Milwaukee's best guy. Axford does.
Oh yeah, the Beast. Yeah, he drinks the Beast.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a Milwaukee's best guy. I don't know. Shave the stash or something, Axford. Do something different, or wear your pants all the way down, or something, because it's got to change, Mike. I mean, here you go. Scale. We'll do a scale again. Scale of 1 to 10. When it's Axford, Shaw, Allen, Chepchinsky, anybody coming in, I mean, how do you feel confident-wise, 1 out of 10, that we're going to get the save?
If who's coming in? Anyone?
I mean, okay, let's say Allen. What's your confidence level?
10 being confident.
Yeah.
I'm about a 3.
With Allen?
Like, yeah. Well, if it's a 1-run game, dude, I'm watching the game on the toilet. Like, I'm not getting off the can.
All right, how about Shaw? But Shaw.
Shaw? Wait, was that not for Allen?
That
Allen,
was for Cody Allen.
Cody Allen, I'm like an 8.
Oh,
so
you said 3.
I'm like a 3.
That was Axford?
Yeah, right now he's about a 3. Anyone else would probably be about a 3. I mean, I never seen Shaw in that closing role. I can't see my cousin closing a game out, that's for sure.
I mean, the only way you could see that happening is if whoever came in to close right now, committee, started struggling and like loaded the bases for Adam Dunn. Then you bring Chepchinsky in to face one batter and try and get him out and try and close the game. So
I'm real confident in Cody Allen. Like, I think the way he came in yesterday or the other day and got him to pop out.
Yeah.
When Axford was struggling, I think he could be the man. But everyone else, Axford, I'll take that back. Maybe like a 5 or 6. But everyone else a 3. In general, my general perspective, I'm like a 3. Just because I'm negative.
Stinks. All right, Mike. We've talked about the hitting. We've talked about the pitching. The pitching's what's kept us in it so far. Leading the AL strikeouts as we covered. Pretty good in ERA. Going to try and do this closer by committee thing. Let's talk about Phase 3, and then we'll wrap it up after this. It's been the biggest Indians cause of concern. I could see the bats being cold. The weather's cold. They're going to keep going. I can see the pitching struggling here and there. You got to get comfortable. Got to find your rhythm. Let's talk about the fielding. Holy shit, Mike, what happened to the Indians clubs? We're dead last in the league in errors, and it's really, really bad to watch. I mean, only David Murphy sports a perfect fielding percentage in all the games played. Nick Swisher's made 4. Even Michael Brantley, who's pretty sure-handed, has 1. That's when you know things aren't going well. But the scariest one, the Yanimal, the guy we paid a shit ton of money to in the offseason, not a shit ton, but a good amount of money to be our everyday catcher for the next coming years. Jan Gomes, he has 9 errors, Mike. What's wrong?
Yeah, and they're stupid errors, too. They're like trying to make a big play, like throws, like a guy getting off too far at second base and he throws down. Like, he's playing like he's like an immature, inexperienced kid. Like he's throwing the ball all around the field. not not to getting his body in front of a ball in the dirt. And I never really thought like fielding was like the you're either hitting, you're good at hitting and pitching, and everyone's just okay at fielding. That's what I
Right.
always thought. I thought everyone kind of, fielding just evens out. But
Right.
we're just now. I think it's finally this year I realized how it's catching up to us, and
Yep.
being dead last in errors, like that's bad. Like, and then I go by position how each person is, and they're like average to below average. Like Swisher's below average fielder.
It sucks.
He's terrible. He can't make a stretch, or if the ball's like a little far off, he'll tip off his
Comes off
glove.
the
He won't
bag.
catch it.
Nope.
As Dribble sometimes makes a good play, but sometimes he boots an easy one. He's kind of declined the last few years.
Yep.
Kipnis is just average, I would say.
Just an average defender.
He's no Pedroia or Cano out there, you know.
I mean, he kind of booted that one ball that cost us the game like 2 weeks ago. I mean, he kind of like just missed the basic ground ball glove side that he even said after the game I should have made the play. And I mean, he has 3 errors. His Dribble has 5. Jan with 9. Swisher, you play fucking first base. You have 4 errors. You clown.
He made such easy ones, like little dribblers he'll miss. God,
Yeah.
I love the guy. I love to have a beer with Nick Swisher, but God, can you at least go to the bench or start like picking balls out of the dirt or something?
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? The other thing is weird here, Mike. Looking at the stat page right now, our pitchers are making a shit ton of errors. Masterson won. Chepchinsky won, and it was huge in the Tampa Bay game, throwing that double play away. Tomlin won. McAllister 2. CC Lee won. So, I mean,
Yeah, I guess
why
it's
are
evened out a little
our
bit.
pitchers making
with
errors? It's not that hard.
Yeah, I guess it seems contagious right now. But it's
Yeah.
like every game, someone
Good.
makes an error. And
Yeah.
I know you said David Murphy has a perfect percentage, and he's no, gazelle out in right field. He's no speedster and great fielder. He just makes
Makes
the
easy
basics plays. He doesn't
Right.
he doesn't mess up the easy plays. But
He
that's
doesn't.
another thing. We don't make the in between plays. We won't
Right.
make like, oh, that was a kind of a tough play. We
Right.
don't make those plays.
Yeah, exactly. We botch easy plays and we don't really take away any hits. The only thing I could think of was the Asdrubal play yesterday. I mean, that was such a big play. It was the leadoff
that
runner
was
in the
huge.
ninth, and he made a sick play in the hole, throw him out, and it went to review, and he still made it. I know Carlos had a game a week ago where he was nasty at third, but he's still got a few errors, and that's going to happen. He's learning a new position, and Lonnie's got 3 himself, so that gives you 5 between your third baseman.
Yeah.
Not that great. It's supposed to be a trusty glove corner over there.
Yeah,
But
we got to tighten up the right side for sure with Swisher and Kipnis. Aviles is pretty solid of what I've seen so far, and Gomes has just got to play smarter. I think he's just trying to do too much behind the plate sometimes.
I mean, he got married or whatever like last year. Just finally gave birth, planted his seed, gave birth the other day. So maybe his mind's clear. I mean, I know he made some money in the offseason, and that's nice, but 9 errors, and Mike, they're not one-base errors. I mean, when you throw it into center field, that guy's going to third with probably less than 2 outs, and he's probably going to score. When you throw behind a runner at first and, it goes into right field, that's a base. Yeah. I mean, these aren't just basic errors where a guy boots a ball off his leg and it's just one base. No, these are 2 base errors he's making, and it's kind of killing us. I know he knows it. I mean,
it's like some high school shit, It's like throwing
Seriously.
the ball over the third baseman's head and things like that.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's something that's plaguing us. I don't know what you do when you have 37 errors in 38 games. You're averaging almost 1 a game. I don't know how you fix that. I don't know. And maybe Nilsey needs to get on the fungo a little bit. Maybe spray some balls around here and there. Or Tito needs to smash some fungo at these guys. But, my gosh, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why they're struggling so bad in the field. Fielding, it's not like one specific thing. It's not like you don't have power arms. It's not like you don't have contact hitters or power hitters. I mean, like you said, you have fielders. Guys need to make plays, and right now they're not making plays. So at some point you just have to say, well, because good hitting is contagious, maybe the good fielding comes around,
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. But I think this is... Because last year we weren't that impressive in the field, but we
weren't
plays
this
that needed to be
bad.
made. What's that?
We weren't this bad.
No, yeah, exactly. We made the easy plays, and now sometimes we miss those plays. Well, I think that will even out.
So looking ahead after we've discussed errors, and you're going to make me drink more beer if I keep talking about errors. Really tough rest of the month coming up, Mike, and let me kind of break this down for you. I mean, this could be make or break territory. It looks like 3, 6, 9, 13, 16, 18 games left, and it could get out of hand. I mean, listen to some of these teams. So we go up to Toronto starting tomorrow. They're the same record as us, 18 and 20. They score a ton of runs, second most in the AL. So they're a good ball club, especially in the Dome if you don't have your pitching. Then we go to Oakland, or then we play Oakland at home, who, we've kind of had Oakland's number here and there, but they have the best record in baseball. No, sorry, best record in the AL, one game behind Milwaukee. And then, obviously, home versus Detroit. I mean, they always own us, so we got to turn around there. Then we go at Baltimore for 4. They're 20 and 15. I'm sure we'll see Ubaldo in that series. Then at Chicago, who we're chasing still right now for 3. And then close up May home against Colorado, who's 33 games better than the next team in runs scored. Their offense is so freaking good. So, tough stretch of 18 games here, Mike. What do you see record-wise? I mean, you're no genie, you're no crystal ball, but what do you see record-wise to try and get us through this month to keep us afloat?
So what did you say after Toronto? We go KC after that?
No, at Toronto, home versus Oakland, home versus Detroit, at Baltimore, at Chicago, home versus Colorado. I mean, 10-8 sounds good to me. I'll take 10-8 in that stretch.
Yeah, I'll take 10-8. We got to win those home games.
We do.
We've been playing good at home. We got to beat Oakland at home. Like, that's important. And then we're home against Detroit, right?
Yeah, I mean, they got some pitching matchups. Kluver versus Smiley favors us. Salazar, Verlander probably favors them, and McAllister, Scherzer favors them. But, we own Verlander.
They have the probable starters up already? Wow.
Yeah, they have, if it goes in order, because we don't have any off days, 13th, 14th, 15th. Yeah, we don't have off days, so it just goes right down. It goes right down the order. So, and it looks like we're gonna see Ubaldo for the Baltimore series. I should make the 6-hour drive up there to go see a game. That's Memorial Day weekend. It would be so freaking packed. But yeah, I'll take a 10-8, 28 and 28. What would that make us, Mike? 28 and 28. Going into June. That's okay. I mean, that's where
that's how teams fight their way back from 500 after starting slow. Like we got like at the home series, we got to take those home series, and we got to take those divisional series against Chicago. I know they're kind of hot. Jose Abreu's crushing the ball right now. But we owned them last year, and we should own them again this year. They're not that good. They just got one player who's just killing it.
Right, and he's kind of.
They got Valencia who's doing good too.
197 runs scored for Chicago, 196 runs given up, I believe, unless Houston.
Highest in
Arizona's worse. They've given up more, but not even Houston's given up enough. So Chicago's pitching, let's be honest, it's shit.
Yeah,
they have Chris Sale, who's hurt, and then the rest of the guys aren't really that great that pitch. So you're going to score your runs against Chicago. It's just can you keep their runs down, and we should have taken 2 out of 3 of them. But I think they're going to come back to earth. You can't just win a baseball season all on offense. I think for Colorado, Chicago, teams like that, it'll come down. But when you're a team like Oakland, 187 runs scored, 126 given up, which is that confusing.
Minnesota too. Minnesota, they got no pitching and all hitting.
Right. Surprisingly, they've scored.
That's an advantage for us.
Right. Scored the second most runs in the AL Central, Minnesota. And then Kansas City, great pitching, 148 runs scored, 148 runs against. So you're going to get low dueling games with them. But we took 3 out of 4 against them. I don't buy that team. I haven't bought that team all year. They got one guy hitting over 300 in Hosmer. I'm just not a big believer in what Kansas City can do. So looks like a big stretch here in May, Mike, starting tomorrow up in Canada with the Blue Jays. I mean, we've gone over a lot here through 38 games. We're going to get together and do this again in another 40. Mike, any closing statements, concerns? I mean, what do you got here for the Tribe? You going to go see a game or what?
Oh, yeah, I want to go see a game, sadly. That will happen over the summer. But for now, we got to figure out our lineup. Seems like we're winning right now, but if the bats blow up, Tito's got to mix up that lineup, get Swisher out of the 2-hole, maybe trade him for some type of something.
6-pack of beer.
Trade him for from just unlimited Taco Bell to satisfy Axford. If Axford can just close, that would be cool. Like, all right, Swisher, you for Taco Bell breakfast for John Axford. No, but seriously, we need him out of there.
No, I know. It's rough. It's a rough go. I mean, real quickly, you know me. I'm a diehard of the Columbus Clippers. I love looking at box scores every day. I mean, Jesus Aguilar hitting well over 300 with a lot of pop. At what point do you sit your $50+ million guy and bring up Jesus? You can't. You can't do it because he's your locker room guy and one of your leaders on your team, and you sit him down. It's just such a slap in the face. But he's hurting the ball club right now. So I know his contract runs out.
I usually tell you to chill on that because you brought that up like 2 weeks in, and I'm like, you bring that up real early, but now I'm like, all right. Bring Jesus up. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, at what point, though, Mike, do you start looking at it that can help the ball club? I mean, not now, not in May, probably not in June either, but shit, if Swisher goes down, I'd like to see the kid get a shot. I mean, he's got some pop in the minor leagues. He's really hitting the ball well.
We brought up Jose Ramirez for a few games, and he looks like, like a little puppy dog in there.
Yeah, dog shit. It looks like dog shit. I mean, he makes plays here and there, but the way Aviles is going, you can't really give Jose at-bats over Aviles. So, I don't know.
It's hard to bench your guy that you're paying the most money to for an unknown product,
Yep, that's it. I mean, it really stinks when your two highest paid guys are Swisher and Bourne, and it's 203 and 243 or whatever, and no production from either. So, you just got to hope it turns around. I think it will. So I guess, your prediction was Michael Brantley's going to be an all-star and Tribe Time Now 1.0, Mikey. You're sticking by it, right? I mean, it'd be stupid now.
Oh, yeah. I think I was looking at it the other day, like, who's in left field.
Trout.
Trout slowed up a little bit, but he's obviously going to get the bid, number one.
Just the fan votes.
But he might get, like, for the all-star game, he could go to center field.
Oh, sure.
But, yeah, he could play center. But, like, Melky Cabrera's killing it.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Yeah, Melky's killing it. I don't know, a couple other guys. But Brantley's an unknown name, so he might, like, get, like, an eighth inning at bat in the All-Star game if he makes it.
Yeah, I mean, that's how our guys work. Kipnis gets in, gets a game-winning double or whatever it was last year, or a big double, and scores a run. But, I mean, I'd like to see him make it. I don't see many other guys from our team getting a bid unless one of our relievers like Shaw or Allen get an all-star bid. But the next time we do this Tribe Time Now 3.0, it'll be in 40 games, so we'll be ahead of the all-star break so we can really start talking about it then. But, this was a good one, Mike. I mean, you got anything else before we close? I think we covered everything really well.
Yeah, I think we went over everything. I'm excited for May. I think this is the month that we turn around, Joe. What do you think?
I do too, and I know you and me, I honestly don't think we've missed many games. I was at a freaking wedding the other day, and I'm on the dance floor. Honey, let me get some water, and I walk away just to check a box score real quick to see how we're doing. Granted, we were getting our ass spanked that game, so I don't have to look real quick, but, we've watched every game. I don't think I've really missed much of any game, and we're diehards. I love doing this, and we'll talk to you tomorrow, Mike, when we kick off again in Toronto.
All right, brother.
Tribe Time Now 2.0. That's the Doc Pelow. Follow him on Twitter at Doc Pelow. I'm Joe Scamacci at JScum13. Your diehard Indian sources. I'll see you the end of June, Mikey. Let's do it again.
All right.